This article is from IndieWire, and it says Spider-Man may head to $850 million this month, but January box office is grim. The focus on that is less about Spider-Man and more about where the box office is going. Miracle's yawning already. I'm pissed.
I'm yawning because why? Why is it so grim?
That's oy vey. So it says there's no stopping the MCU and Scream holds promise, but this month reflects a feast or famine future for theaters. For theaters, January 2022 is becoming a cruel month. Spider-Man No Way Home exceeded all expectations when it grossed $627 million in its first 19 days. Of its North American release, but there is almost no chance that its momentum will carry over. Even as Spider-Man will provide by far the highest grossing month of box office, it says. Wait, so let me rephrase that. Will provide by far the highest gross for the month. Box office will be less than half of January 2020. Okay, so Spider-Man's providing almost half of the box office for the whole month of January of 2022, but it's still going to be half of what it was in January 2020. The only film that stands a chance is Scream of making $100 million by the end of its run. This is interesting because we're planning to go see the 355, or at least that's the only one that I'm kind of really motivated to go see right now. And even then, it's more out of like can they actually pull this off? I don't really think so. I don't imagine that the movie will be, I'm going in there with less than high expectations for this film. So it says 2 years ago, ticket sales came to just under 900 million. That was lower than 4 or 5 prior Januaries, but Bad Boys for Life, The Rise of Skywalker, and 1917 each took in over $100 million during the month. This January, only Spider-Man is likely to make over 100 million. The total for all titles will likely be under 450. I mean, 1917 was had fantastic word of mouth because of the way it was the one-shot format that movie had that people really took to, and that I believe, if I remember correctly, it had an overseas release first, and the good word of mouth from the overseas release meant that when it came here, it got really good publicity not coming from the studios. Yeah. But then also Bad Boys for Life, which is a continuation of a very famous franchise from the 90s, and The Rise of Skywalker, which goes without saying was the conclusion of a Star Wars trilogy, albeit a really bad one, but it was still Star Wars.
Yeah. People are still excited for it.
So you can't really compare 2022 with, Spider-Man technically released in
before 2020.
December, right? So you can't consider a movie that came out that's not even in its first week as the month begins, and then one legacy horror continuation as a way of standing up to the box office no matter what the conditions are. I see it as like it's just one of those years that the studios are like, it's still pandemic times. The weather is cold. People don't necessarily want to go out. Horror movies have become more of the staple for this time of year than your blockbusters. I know Star Wars kind of took over that end of year slot for a while. Yeah. But that I believe that was the in between films, like what was it? Not the trilogy, but the independent stories like Solo and Rogue One.
Oh yeah, Rogue One, I really liked that. Yes. That one had really good writing.
I believe those were the January releases. I could be wrong. It was either that or it was the other way around. One of them was in January, one of them was in the summer, if I remember correctly. Yeah. The absence of competition will lift the latest Spider-Man to greater heights, with potential to reach $850 million, though more likely closer to $800 million. If it hits the high end, it would reach number 3 of all time in the unadjusted box office charts. In terms of actual tickets sold, it would be 18. Okay, so adjusting for inflation, it would be. Yeah, so the MCU title generated, it's technically an MCU title, but it's really it's a Sony movie. Generated $55 million in the first 4 days of this month. The rest of January should see an additional $180 million to $200 million that will likely account for nearly half of January sales. The surge in COVID cases is a factor, although the slate was already weak. The biggest impact was Sony's decision to delay Morbius from January 28th until April. But even then, that would have been at the very end
Yeah,
of January. That wouldn't have helped. I mean, it would have gotten like what? Is January a 31-day month? I always forget this one.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. It's one of those things, like all those sayings that you should remember when you're a kid. I never remember any of those.
Well, I don't know.
But like that would have you would have only gotten what 1, 2, 3 or 4 days, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. So you gotten like 4 days of box office sales for that. So one good weekend wouldn't have made all that much of a difference as if it had come out in the beginning of the month.
Yeah, I just think they're being a little bit harsh too, because like people are still like kind of iffy about going outside.
Yep.
And
well, in the weather, like
the
right
weather,
now,
yeah.
there's been there was like one of our coworkers sent me a message or sent a thing in Slack the other night that said it was like negative 38 wind chill in Minnesota and negative 22 temperature, which thank goodness I no longer live in.
Do you miss it?
No, but the thing is, my job as a lifelong Minnesota resident, now that I'm here on the East Coast, is to constantly berate and make fun of everyone for complaining when they think it's cold out. That's your job.
It is cold.
Well, see, but you're from California, so it's doubly my job to make fun of you when you get cold.
I was raised in Bakersfield, California, and like 75 degrees is cold to us.
So for me, it's my job to be like, somebody's like, brr, and I'm like, time to go to work. And I get up and I go, yeah, cold. Am I right? Like, yeah, no, sorry. It's not that cold out. You're wrong. And then Miracle gives me the face she's giving me right now, which you can't really see, but it's very mean.
I'm throwing you with the ducks that are like next door to us. So we have a pond that's right next to us that's owned by a different property, and there's duckies in there. And I thought they were dead.
You thought the ducks were dead?
Yeah, I thought they were dead because they weren't moving. And then like we came closer to it, and they were actually moving. So I was like, oh.
That's good.
Yeah, but I'm going to throw you in that pond.
You're not going to do that. So I switched over here to the 2022 movie release, the movie Insider tab there, and I want to this is all the movies. Like I was kind of shocked by this when I first saw it. If you look at the list here, it gives you a date, the name of the movie on the left, you know, the genre, the studio, but then on the other side there, you see where it says VOD for the top one?
Yeah.
It lists the type of release it is. Now, if we're talking theaters, that the only one you really should be paying attention to is nationwide releases, because nationwide releases are the only ones that are really going to help you bump the box office numbers significantly.
Yeah.
Look how few, just through January, look how few nationwide releases there are.
Yeah.
I see a total of 5. 1, 2.
I counted
3, 4.
in the beginning. So in January, I only counted. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Just through 4. So we have the 355 on January 7th. We have Scream on January 14th. We have Redeeming Love.
What is that?
See, I don't even. It's an adaptation. I believe it's a book adaptation. And then The King's Daughter. So those are the only ones with any. So, Redeeming Love is a Nina Dobrev movie. Ooh, Nina Dobrev. Abigail Cowan, I don't know. Famke Janssen, heck yeah. Eric Dane, heck yeah. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I just searched it up.
It's like probably a romance or something.
It's a romance movie. So the summary of Redeeming Love is basically Angel, who was sold into prostitution as a child, has survived through hatred and self-loathing in the 1850s California. When she meets Michael, she discovers there's no brokenness that love can heal.
Wow. So it's got its very, very like niche audience for something like this. You're not going to get, this isn't going to do Marvel numbers, obviously. So that's
the girl that played Vampire Diaries is in it.
Nina Dobrev. Yep, Nina Dobrev is awesome. She was also in The Americans, which is a fantastic show.
Yeah.
And then The King's Daughter, which I didn't. Oh yeah, that's the Pierce Brosnan movie.
Yeah.
About Louis I don't know what's XIV.
Hold on.
I don't know. I'm awful. I don't do Roman numerals, guys. Sorry. I know that it's so that would be the 14th, I think.
Hold on. We got you.
Tell me what XIV. Tell me that's 14th.
I'm looking for it right now.
People are just judging the hell out of me right now.
Well,
like,
people don't read this, okay? Stop judging us. Like, they don't teach us this anymore.
He's going to be in Black Adam, Pierce Brosnan? Holy crap.
Yeah, you're right. It is 14th.
Okay, I was right. So,
I only remember it because Final Fantasy.
Okay, there you go. So it says King Louis XIV, his quest for immortality leads him to capture a mermaid's life force, but his immovable will is challenged when his long-ridden illegitimate daughter forms a bond with a magical creature. Okay, so it's like one of those weird, like, half history, half sci-fi type stories.
So it's like Abraham the Vampire
Slayer. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, okay, well, fine. It's got Julie Andrews. Weird. It's got I don't know most of
Ooh,
the
Fam Bing Bing. Sorry, that was a little bit high.
It's a little high. It's okay.
Fam Bing Bing is the mermaid.
Okay, cool. I don't know who that is.
She's a Chinese actress.
Okay, cool. She was in Transformers Age.
The one that I told you where there's a lady in China that did plastic surgery to look like her.
Oh, wow. Okay, crazy. So she was in Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. I don't remember her role in that one, but cool. Good for her.
What else is on the list?
I think those were. That's what I'm saying. Isn't that crazy? Those are the only wide releases all of January. The rest of them are all either limited studio release or some type of streaming service. So how can we expect the box office to do well when there's no films that are even wide enough released to make a dent in those numbers? So Scream will do well. Horror movie fans are notoriously loyal. People are still coming out to the Paranormals and to the Conjuring movies. Some do better than others, but in general they do well.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting.
Yeah.
What I like doing about something like this is like I'll look at what it looks like at the end of the month and be like, we'll look at and like see how bad was the box office. I'm sure we'll be able to get those numbers.
Yeah.
So there's The Legend of La Llorona. Wasn't there already a movie of that?
Do you know the story behind it?
I like the meme of like the Legend of La Cabrona. It's she wants your child support or something like that.
God dang it. No, you remember Grimm talked about it too when the movie first came out?
Yes. Okay.
So basically it's just a weeping lady and like she feels bad because
But didn't this movie already come out?
Yeah.
Or is this a sequel or something?
I think this is a sequel. Because they didn't make a sequel.
No, it says follow updates. Maybe it already came out, and then can you look it up on IMDb and just see what? Because I could have swore this movie came out already. Like maybe I'm imagining that. In fact, you know what? I'm just gonna look it up right now. Well, Miracle looks it up too, so people can see it on screen. The Legend of...
No, the first movie that came out in 2019 is The Curse of La Llorona.
Okay, so this is like a...
Well, it's not La Llorona. So the two L's is pronounced like a Y. So Yona.
Okay, all right. Well, this proves to you what I know. I know nothing.
I only remember it because my friend is named Yuvia, and it's the two L's.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, this one's got Autumn Reeser. Autumn Reeser's good. So is Danny Trejo. Everyone loves Danny Trejo.
Dude, he's still alive? My dude.
That's mean.
What? Well, because I thought he passed away because there was like no like updates on him.
That he does he's like a commercial king now. He's like in commercials all the time. So, yeah, so it just says it makes sense for Paramount to proceed with its January 14th release of the Scream reboot. It is not a reboot, it is a continuation. The first new film of the franchise since 2011 is set for the usually lucrative 4-day Martin Luther King weekend. The studio faced similarly risky circumstances last May when it stuck to its plans for the Memorial Day debut of A Quiet Place Part 2. They were rewarded with what was then pandemic's best $47 million opening, $57 million for 4 days.
Not bad.
So that's very good. So we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on this. Like I know that this probably doesn't interest everyone, but I have like a pretty... I enjoy looking at the box office numbers just to see what people, because it's very easy for the media to manipulate what they show you, and so they can show you any article and be like, people love this new show. Like I see articles on both sides that say the Book of Boba Fett, everyone loves it, and then I click down a link later and it says the Book of Boba Fett, nobody's watching it. Ooh. So the media can make you believe whatever they want, but numbers don't lie.
That's true. Well, last night I was Charlie asked me if I wanted to watch the Book of Boba Fett, and I'm like, not really.
There's not really any hype around it. Like, very little. Like, at least maybe I'm just looking at... but we're looking at all the same sites, right? So
we're looking at the same sites, and also Disney's not really promoting it that much.
I see a couple of, like, banner ads on IMDb, but that's about it. So I don't know. It's just it didn't really interest me. Maybe as a wide release like a movie rather than a TV show, I would have been more interested in it. But in general, I wasn't. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.